You had mentioned like this project that you're working on, and it's coming out in the form of an EP,
Yep.
right? And then you decided to name it Dead Flowers. Why the title?
I know this is like a exclusive, like the title. I haven't really told a lot of people, so this is like very a little
Exciting.
exclusive. Uh, I named it Dead Flowers. I've had that phrase in my phone for a really, really long time. I just liked there's some words I just like the sound of and stuff. But this one, it really made sense. After my first heartbreak, I was like, this describes exactly the feeling of like learning to let go of someone after you break up with someone. It's like this feeling of you want to water these flowers. You're hoping they come back alive and we could revive this, but just really coming to terms like this is dead. This relationship's dead and just learning to like grieve that and throw them out. And that goes with throwing out every souvenir, like the remains of the relationship is like these souvenirs you have in your house of like things that remind you of them. And it's like shedding this like past self of yours. It's also your own like death and rebirth. So that's how I felt was going through this breakup. And these dead flowers was the symbolism of my own like death and rebirth through this.
Wow, that's deep. That is,
I'm sorry, I get deep. I
I
love
like that.
it.
I like that. That's so good. Um, what do you think about when you see dead flowers?
It's low key beautiful. You think about when I see dead flowers, it's this just this beauty of like, wow, they were once alive, and it's like loving the life that they had, and it's coming to the maturity of like, wow, that was they once were bloomed and beautiful, and now they have passed, but that's okay. They had a great life. And
Mm.
so it's like, it's the sadness. I'm like getting really deep, but I'm sorry. But it's like when someone passes, or when something that you kind of fantasized and you thought was going to happen, there's like this death in a sense. And then you grow past it and you realize, wow, that was actually a blessing, and that actually happened for a reason. Like, I'm so grateful I went through this breakup, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. And it like helped me evolve and grow and really love myself more and push for my own like personal development, and also was a great inspiration for music. So it's great.
Yeah. Do you see when you talk about fantasy of a particular relationship or whatever, after going through that experience where you have this flower, it goes through its life, and but there's this like wonderful bloom moment of it being so colorful and magical, but then there's the death. In learning from those moments, do the flowers that you choose, are they different now? Like, do you choose different flowers as you progress
Mm,
through life? Like the flowers that you saw as beautiful at one point in life don't look the same anymore. And you kind of like
yeah,
choose
that's a
another
great
set.
question. I love that. Very poetic. No, I like lilies now. No, I'm joking. I like only tulips.
Yeah, let's take it
Like,
literally.
no, I hate
No.
tulips. I like that's funny. Um, yeah, I think definitely my perspective has expanded. I believe it's like you smell different flowers. It's like, oh wow, if you've only smelled roses, you think roses are literally the best. But then once you smell, tulips or different flowers, or it's like tasting, like if your palate is, you've only eaten this type of food, for your whole life, you think it's the best until you like try all different types of food and you're like, whoa, like this is so cool. And then you can make a decision and make your own opinion and have your own perspective and be like, actually, this is my favorite. This is what I like. This is my vibe,
Mm.
based off of everything else. And so I think since it was my first love and my first breakup, it was um, you thought everything was normal. You thought the unhealthy stuff was normal until you leave and you meet other people and you're like, oh wait, like I don't want to attract that again. That is not my vibe. It's just not
Mm,
healthy. And to also be aware of that and not repeat cycles, because it's easy to just rebound and repeat cycles, and you're just going to keep picking the same flower. But then you realize, like, wait, there's so many
yeah,
other beautiful options. And then you'll grow from each flower. So that's great. You'll take what you need and you'll shed what you don't.
totally.
It's great.
Yes. Yeah. I that's like comparable to the guy or girl who is really into the bad boy or girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then they kind of learn from the hurt of that choice, and then as a result, like, hey, maybe nice guys aren't so
Yeah, yeah,
bad.
yeah. That's
I
like
don't
the
know.
stereotype thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one, yeah, I think
Stereotypical
one thing
thing,
I've,
right? But there, I know
oh,
there's a
yeah,
lot more
that's
to
like
that,
the
right?
television. Every girl loves a bad boy,
That's the
right?
Nickelodeon
Yeah, no, I
version.
was never into, never. There's like a form of self sabotage there. I feel like if you want to get hurt, like if you like, that's a whole internal thing you got to work on. If you attract someone that, if you want someone that kind of hurts you or is like rude to you, you know? Yeah, as a whole. But it always goes back to like parenting, I
Yeah.
feel, in like how you were treated and your what how you
Mm.
view yourself. Because how you view yourself is how you view others, and it's all like that's why I always try to ask people about like, oh, their upbringing and their parents and their siblings and their friends. It all is a telling sign of who they are. Yeah.
So important. Yeah, so important to ask. It's kind of like diligence, right? Like, because there's obviously there can be attraction, but when it comes to like longevity, like there's like flags, right? Like, and you want to be paying attention to those things, and a lot of those flags have a lot to do with what you said about like upbringing and um yeah, just kind of like
Yeah. Don't
background
be
and
blind to the
everything.
flags either. It's easy to sometimes like put the blinders on and pretend like I don't see them because you want them to be the person that you envision them to
Yeah.
be.